I would say a brand new organization. First, you know, the second team, third team, they played like first teamers. You know, you had Davion Davis. I'm sorry, had a spectacular game, 4 catches, 57 yards, and a score. You know, defense showed up. I like the rookie Newsome. He showed up. It looks like my guy Greedy Williams is healthy. So I mean, it set a good tone. My only worry. I only have one word.
Hold on, brace for it.
I only have one word. And it involves paying Baker Mayfield. If the team looks good like this, it takes me back to, you remember how Kyrie Irving was traded to Boston? We all thought Kyrie was going to be the savior for Boston. But really, it was kind of like a Brad Stevens, his aura on the team. I think I could be stretching a little bit, but I think with the head coach, I think he probably got a good aura on the Browns that make it seem like, you know, he may be able to win with any quarterback, because you figure Kyle Lauletta, he had a good game.
Yeah, I'm like, who is this kid?
Exactly.
229 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know if the Stefanski effect is in full effect with the Browns, and you know, and that may be the hold off on why Baker hasn't got paid yet. But the Browns look really, really, really good. Because I'll tell you this, and I'm gonna be quiet. The Browns.
No, you talk some more. The
Browns. All right, so the starting lineup that we've seen on that game is what I'm used to seeing the past 20 years for our team. A no-name quarterback. Well, I ain't gonna say no name, but a guy who, you know, ain't a superstar, probably average Joe type of quarterback, and some average Joe players. You know, that's what I've seen, and this from start to finish, that was a complete game by the Browns. A lot of people just say, "Oh, it's preseason," but you know, preseason tells a lot about how your season is gonna go, in my opinion.
But these were your twos out here.
Yeah.
Balling.
Yeah.
Balling.
I mean, playing like that, just imagine how your ones.
Exactly. And you know, there were some stretches like special teams. That's one of I'm like Jim Tressel. You know, special teams is one of the most important aspects of the game, because guess how long was the longest return last year?
I'm gonna say 30 yards.
13 yards.
13
was the longest return. How pathetic is that? And this is a team that made it to the wild card game and won the wild card game, made it to the divisional game. Yeah. And you had your longest punt return, field kickoff was 13 yards.
The Browns haven't had a good returner, punt or kickoff returner, since Travis Benjamin left. I think Travis Benjamin was, in my opinion, one outside of Josh Cribbs. You know, Josh Cribbs to me is the GOAT when it comes to special teams for the Browns. But since then, I think we've seen Travis Benjamin, and we haven't seen another good one. So I'm hoping that we got a guy in Demetric Felton who possibly can change all of that this year.
Aaron Metcalf called, and he kind of mad right now. you talk about Josh Cribbs as the coach. Aaron Metcalf a little mad right now.
Oh man,
I think he might be calling in and cuss us out.
Oh man, I love Metcalf, man. I watched some videos. As a matter of fact, I want to say the fumble. No, it wasn't a fumble. I can't remember what game I watched the other day. He had a breakout game, but then of course we lost that game.
Yeah. So, what did you think about JOK?
Man, I think, man, it's hard for me to see JOK as a straight linebacker because he's kind of small. But man, he's lightning in the bottom. Yeah. I think he looked to me out there like he was hitting like a safety. Yeah. You know, but JOK he's as advertised. I say that. You know, he 8 tackles, led the team in tackles. You know, didn't miss an assignment. I see why a lot of people saying he should have been a first rounder. JOK is definitely as advertised. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to seeing him out there, and that first forced fumble and that first pick six that he get, or tackle for loss. I'm ready. I'm just ready to see him full-fledged out there.
Kate, I don't know if Kate believed me, but I said on Monday that I think he might be the star of the Kansas City game.
Oh, I think so. I think he can. Because you figure, how good is Kansas City offensive line? You know,
well, they just got upgraded, so we'll see. We don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
You know,
we'll see, but
because that'll be like, how good is our defensive line? We don't know because we just got upgraded, and you only had 2 players returning, out of all the positions. So that'll be the same thing for Kansas City. They'll be seeing how well they gel. I just need them to have some gaps in the offensive line so somebody can get to Pat Mahomes.
I tell you this, I might be jumping the broom a little bit, but I think personally we have a better team than Kansas City, a more complete team than Kansas City. I mean, obviously, if you go head to toe, you compare the position groups. Of course, they got the better quarterback, But is that it? I mean, we got the better offensive line,
better tight end. They got the better tight end.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you still got David Njoku, and you got Austin Hooper and Tyreek Hill, but you got OBJ and Jarvis. Exactly. So, but you didn't have OBJ in that game last year. He has a different dynamic to the offense that you didn't have last year. People that can get runs after the catch. I'm tired of him being in these gimmick type setups, because he's not a gimmick player. He's a wide receiver. Get him out there, throw the ball every once in a while. But, we'll see how close to the vest or, how safe Kevin Stefanski is going to play against the Kansas City Chiefs.
I mean, one thing that it was a rookie. I could tell it was a rookie mistake last year, but I hope one thing that he learned was situation things. It's more so situation type of stuff. Like in the playoff game, he had Chubb out there when he should have had Kareem Hunt out there. And he had Kareem Hunt out there when he should have had Chubb out there in certain situations. So hopefully he fixed those type of things. And then I think we'll be fine. Because, Kansas City really didn't do anything special defensively for me to be like, oh, yeah, they're just going to shut down the run this year. So I think if we continue to go with our bread and butter, have the run set up to pass, at first, I was like, I don't think we're going to beat Kansas City week 1. But now I'm starting to come a little bit more closer to, this team is gelling. This team is looking good. I think we got a chance. I ain't going to count us out just yet.
George said Metcalf up the middle. That's correct. There's always a chance. Yeah. You ever see, what's that movie with Jim Carrey where he liked a girl and he's a crazy cop or whatever? He's like, you mean there's a chance? There's beyond a chance. And like I said, Kansas City has to prepare for us too, because they haven't seen our complete offense. Yeah. And like you said, Kevin Stefanski going up against Andy Reid, one of the best coaches, best coaching minds in all of football. Like you said, it was a rookie mistake. And as great as Kevin Stefanski is, there's others who are better. Yeah. And now you said, he had the opportunity to learn, and I think he's going to be okay. So it's going to be very interesting, but I wanted to see anything you noticed about the offense out there.
I think
Dumb and Dumber. Thank you, Trey.
I think we're gonna have one thing I learned. I think we're going to have a lot of rotation pieces on the offensive line. Okay. So it's going to keep our offensive line fresh. I think we're also going to have a top 10. And I think we're going to have top 10 in everything: rushing yards, passing yards, receiving yards. I think we're going to be top 10 across the board offensively.
Yeah, remember this team is a team that struggles to get yards after the catch. So that's improvement that you want to see coming up with this season. Yeah. So
I think personally, if you line Odell and Donovan Peoples-Jones next to each other, pick your poison.
Oh, how do you think DPJ looked as well as Hollywood Higgins looked initially coming out in this game?
I think DPJ is going to. I said it 2 weeks ago. I think DPJ is going to take somebody's job. Man, right now, possibly Hollywood, because Hollywood was the third receiver last year. Yeah. And DPJ right now is in talks of being the third receiver. But futuristically, I think next year, he could be probably number 1, number 2. That's how good he can look. First play of the game, if I'm not mistaken, it was a pass to him right up the middle, caught it in, got about 6-7 yards after the catch. So I think I've been a fan, even though he a blue guy. I'm not very fond of that school, but I really like DPJ.
It's like every year we get that one guy from Michigan that
Jabril Peppers.
Yeah. Oh God! Even before that, I'm like, oh man, another Michigan cat.
Who was the receiver that we got? 2000, like late 2000.
Braylon Edwards.
Oh man, Butterfinger, Braylon Edwards, man.
Yeah, he said he wanted to model after football, so maybe that's what he ended up doing because he was a better model than he was a receiver. He could make the circus catch, but he can't make the 3rd and 6.
You remember a few years ago? No, not a few, but 10 years ago, he had he ran a stream right up the middle, had the guy beat, and it hit off the top of his helmet. That's when I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, that was an interesting year because we had Kellen Winslow Jr. too. So yeah, so that's a
whole nother story. Right?
Yeah, 2007 though, he was on it though. You know what I'm saying? That was a great year. We didn't make it to the playoffs 10-6, unfortunately, but we more than made up for it. But I wanted to get your opinion on the Browns. So the Giants are in town tomorrow and Friday for joint practices. And then they play on Sunday. How odd is it that you have a preseason game on a Sunday at 1 p.m.?
Yeah, it was one last week. What was it? Coats and somebody last Sunday. I was surprised. I was like, maybe I guess they're trying to get fans ready for Sundays with football. So that's a little weird. But hey, 1 o'clock game with the Browns. I'm gonna be tuned in. I'm watching it. I'm off, so I'm gonna treat it just like it's week 5.
Yeah, it's gonna be just like a regular Sunday game, except for we don't know if we're gonna see these starters or not. So
I don't think so. I think they're probably gonna ride it out to probably the last game.
And then when start the game or go in late or.
I think they won't play. I don't think they're gonna play until week 3 of the preseason.
I'm okay with them not playing at all though.
Yeah, because we didn't play last year and it was okay.
Yeah.
I'm all for it, especially if it's gonna get second stringers and third stringers who probably will never get these reps in game.
And then you see who your backups are. You see who your depth people are. Yeah. So I'm good with that. So we're gonna see. It's gonna be very interesting. But I want to get your thoughts because when we come back, we're gonna be talking about some baseball. So we're gonna be talking about the Cleveland baseball team. So we're gonna be right back. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
What I would say to you is I see you. I know what it feels like to carry stress, pain, to feel alone, that you're in this alone.
NFL Network.
But no one understands. I see.
I don't know.
And
DPJ was a stud at Michigan. Tony says watching him.
This message of hope is from the Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board of Cuyahoga County, the Suicide Prevention Coalition, and WOVU 95.9 FM. Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
Yeah.
Next time, you just got to run.
School is almost in session, but we're not done with summer fun just yet. WOVU 95.9 FM, Ward 6 Councilman Blaine A. Griffin, DTLR, and the Buckeye Soul Summer Series present the Ward 6 Back to School event this Saturday, August 21st, from noon to 4 p.m. at Buckeye Plaza, located at 11501 Buckeye Road in Cleveland, where you'll be part of the ribbon-cutting ceremony. Join us for a school supplies giveaway, haircuts for kids, health screenings, music, and more. End your summer on a high note at the Ward 6 Back to School event this Saturday, August 21st from noon to 4 p.m. located at Buckeye Plaza at 11501 Buckeye Road in Cleveland. This celebration is brought to you by the Ward 6 Councilman Blaine A. Griffin, DTLR, the Buckeye Soul Summer Series, and WOVU 95.9 FM. Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
Hey, yo, we back. You are listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports. You can always listen to us online at WOVU.org. You can always give us a call at 216-271-0959. You can download that WOVU app so you can listen to us on the go. And on Facebook, we are interacting with folks on StreamYard. So type in your comments and we will respond. We'll respond on air. So super excited to have you guys watch the show, you guys can see me. You can't see Marshawn, but next week we'll make sure that you guys can see him and see what he's up to in the studio with me. But Marshawn, we got to move on to the Cleveland baseball team. So the Cleveland baseball team, they are playing right now. Oh man, so it looks like they lost in 11 innings to Minnesota. Sigh. They won last night and then lost in extra innings on what's today, Monday night to Minnesota. Oh man, so what do you think about this team right now? You text me and you said you made a very bold proclamation. You were like, I think this team might make it. I'm like, man, this dude is tripping. I was like, I'm gonna let him save it for the radio though. So go ahead and tell me what your train of thoughts are, because I'm trying to understand.
So all right, so yesterday I picked up one of my old roommates from the airport, and he's a big baseball head. Guy Devon, and he told me a crazy stat. I was like, at first I was like, nah, I don't know. But then the more I thought about it and researched it, I was like, it actually makes sense. So we have, how many games left? About 46, 47 games, somewhere around there.
Left?
Yeah.
Gosh, that seems like a lot.
Yeah. So out of all of those 47, I think that's what he said. Don't quote me on this, but he said that if we went 37-12, because the majority of the teams that we play are under 500. The Tigers, the Twins. I want to say we play the Royals again. So we got a lot of.
No more Tigers.
No more Tigers?
No more Tigers.
Okay, so Tigers out the way. We still have the Twins, the Royals, and a few others. But if we go 36-12 against those teams, that'll get us at 92 wins. 92 wins is good enough for me to fight for a chance to be in the wild card, in my opinion. I know Savale was, he just threw a 50-pitch simulation game, and could possibly be back soon. We got Bieber could possibly come back soon. So as long as we get
I had to pull out the schedule.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So as long as we get our health back, get our healthy players back, our start rotation. Eli Morgan shocked me the other day. Tristan McKenzie had a lights out game. Sunday, right? So I feel like if we get our pitching back, I never was worried about hitting. Hitting was never a worry this season because we got plenty of that. But we can get our pitching right. I think we can go on a solid run in the season. Because a lot of these guys believe in, I didn't think that a lot of these guys would believe in DeMario Hill, but here we are.
You have exactly 40 games left.
40 games,
after today.
So in those 40 games, if we go 28-12 in those 40 games, we can fight. We got a strong fight. I'm about, if I had to put a number on it, I'm about 35% on the. We're good. 65% still kind of, I don't know.
All right. You want to play the schedule game?
Let's do it.
All right. So Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Shohei Ohtani. Big game on tonight in Williamsport. So I'm actually going to try to see if I can actually go to that game. So,
I was thinking about if I don't have nothing to do Sunday, just drive there. It's not that far.
That should be 6 hours. That's a lot.
No, it's not. I drove from Cleveland to DC faithfully, and that's about 5.5, almost 6. That is.
And depending on how DC along the Beltway was, that could be 8 hours.
Yeah,
you can easily add on 3 hours.
I got it.
So
I gotta be honest. I never left midday. I always either left late or early in the morning.
Yeah, see, and I wanted to get out and come back home because I lived in Richmond, Virginia. When I wanted to get out, I just got out and left. You know what I'm saying? Like
that traffic.
Because that traffic and that drive, I don't like to drive. I'd rather fly. But at that time, I was living in Richmond, was the second most expensive place to fly in and out of in the country. So I always drove. I never flew home. So it'll be interesting to see Los Angeles. Are they a playoff team or not? I'm gonna pull up the division.
I think so. If they are, I'll be surprised. No, they're not. They're 60-61.
Okay, I'm pulling up. I need to get all the standings. That's what I need. All right. So Texas Rangers, they're terrible. Boston right now is imploding. Kansas City, Where's Kansas City at? They are, they're at the bottom of the AL Central, so they suck. Boston again after KC. Minnesota at home could be different results. But, Minnesota chicks did the long ball, so they are always hitting home runs. And that's how they probably won that game today, was a home run. They take on Milwaukee Brewers, so that should be a very interesting series. Let me see.
Second best record in the NL.
Okay, well, we can probably chalk those up to some losses. Then Minnesota again, 2-game set. New York Yankees, that's probably going to be some losses because the Yankees are playing very well right now. Then you got Kansas City again, potentially have some wins. Chicago White Sox, some losses. And Kansas City again, some wins. And Texas again, some wins. But they need 28 wins, and you said 28 and 12.
28 and 12.
They're going to lose more than 12 games. That's the thing. I mean, what are you thinking when I read off the teams?
I mean, I'm already going to say we're going to lose to the Yankees. We're going to lose.
Maybe not all 3 games.
No, not all 3 games.
But think about how badly we got swept against the A's. 17-0. The worst ever in Jacobsville history. The worst game ever in Jacobsville history.
And that's the thing that confuses me, because when you think that they're trending in the right direction, they go out and get blown out, or they'll go out and get allow a random team like Seattle or somebody to shut them out. So it's hard to predict. It's hard to predict like how strong a run they're gonna go on. But that 28, I think they can win 28 over their last 40. I say 25 to 28 games. I believe that they can.
They got to hit the ball. It's pitching by committee right now. Shane Bieber also pitched a simulated game as well. So I just don't think they can do it. I love my Cleveland baseball team. I'm ride or die since pretty much the day I've been born. Yeah. But I just don't think they can do it. This team has to have a will and drive, and I'm just not seeing it. One thing, you got to be able to string together some hits, and you getting blown out 17-0. It left a bad taste in my mouth for the rest of the season. And I just don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen. On Sunday is the extra special game. They're playing at the Little League. This is a national game. The only time that I think this is second time. Okay. Second time. Because the other one, I think that was a Saturday night and we got our butts shellacked. It was on ESPN. Yeah. No, we got one upcoming against Boston on 28. No, that's not Fox. Yeah, that's a Fox Sports game. But yeah, what was that one game? Because it was on national TV, and that was it. We haven't had many national games. So, but yeah, hopefully they show up and show out for that, because that's a special thing. And also the draw of Shohei Ohtani is going to be something big as well. Yeah. So I'm waiting on Miggy to make his 500 home run, because when they was in town, he was sitting at 498. And one employee from MLB was there, and I was actually talking to him. His job was to be the authenticator. So there were special balls that was thrown in, for Miggy to hit off of. So there's special trackers on the ball so they can tell exactly where the ball goes when he hit the home run. So they're going to go get the ball from the fan, make whatever offer, to the fan for the ball, and then turn around and resell the ball, or Miggy will keep it, but
so let me ask you this. You can. Let's say you that fan and you catch his 500 won. What's your offer to them? What do you want from them in order to give that ball?
$100,000.
I wasn't doing that much, but goodness.
Because you know how much money they'll be able to get it for? They said a Shohei Ohtani jersey from All-Star, a signed jersey, went for $125,000. So a 500 home run ball, I want $100,000. No taxes, off the rip.
And I need a Miggy signed jersey.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I ain't a Detroit fan, so
I like Detroit when they had that run, when they had powerhouse pitching, powerhouse.
Verlander and them. Yeah. Nope, forget that. They would beat our tribe. They would whoop up on us. So I'm good. They can have all that. But yeah, I would 100,000 would be what. Yeah. So yeah, but and like like I said, they got a special tracking device on it. So when it go, they know exactly where it go, and they're gonna make that offer to the fan. And he was like, baseball authenticates everything, and he know that it's gonna get so much money. Because all money goes to charity and all that other stuff, but the value of items, that how much stuff costs, and it was like only 2 teams in the NFL authenticate everything, and not MLB, but the NBA doesn't have an authentication system. I'm like, they should, you know what I'm saying, for like players' gear and all that other stuff. But yeah, he was talking about the Eli Manning controversy where somebody paid $10,000 for Eli Manning helmet, in which he threw like 3 touchdowns. I can't remember what game it was. And they paid $10,000 for the helmet. And they opened up the helmet. It was a brand new helmet. And it turned out Eli was given the helmet. So we can say the equipment people lost their jobs because, that cost somebody $10,000. So he was telling me some interesting stuff. So when Miggy hits that home run, I want to have him on to talk about that process, because it was really, really interesting. And I was like, are y'all hiring, looking for people to do this? I'm like, who's the Cleveland authenticator? He was like, they're sitting in the dugout. But so pretty much his job was to travel with Detroit until Miggy hits his home run. And then I guess they'll start the 3,000 hit, trek as well, because he's getting close to that as well. But guess how many home runs he's hit against the Indians?
I am going to go on a limb and say 50.
Bingo.
Man, that's good.
Exactly. That's how many home runs he got off against Cleveland Indians pitching.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Out of his 500 home run total. But that just goes to show how many times they play each other in the division. So I'm like, that I'm over with that.
Are we the most?
I think so. Probably because he's faced us the most as well.
He killed us.
Yeah, it is what it is. But you know what? We got to take another break right quick. So you are listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
St. Luke's Foundation has awarded millions of dollars each year to positive
anything above 500. Yeah, George. Anything above 500.
And now it's time to put the money where your mouth is. So we're introducing Lift Every Voice, a platform created to hear directly from you. We want to know what's important to you and what's important for your community. So St. Luke's Foundation can put all these millions in all the right places. And sharing your voice is easy to do. Go to lev216.org and sign up for the Lift Every Voice email and text updates. It's completely anonymous and totally free. And your voice will impact where, why, and how St. Luke's Foundation spreads that monetary love. Head over to lev216.org and sign up now to help lift every voice in our community. This message is brought to you by St. Luke's Foundation and WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
I can't do this job.
Our people.
Thinking about where to enroll in school this fall? With the CMSD Learning Experience, you'll get more. The Cleveland Metropolitan School District is offering new programs live and in person, and it all starts on August 23rd. Student health services, free. 2 meals per day, transportation, and internet access, free. Each student gets issued the right laptop, tablet, and technology, plus amazing activities for the whole family, also free. Enroll at CMSD and get more. Sign up at choosecmsd.org.
This message is brought to you by Cleveland Metropolitan School District and WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
Oh, we can talk about the Trevor Bauer. All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle, WOVU and 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports. So every day we've talked a little bit about the Trevor Bauer situation. Today there was more testimony, and this time they had a sexual assault, domestic violence nurse get on the stand saying that the young lady has some injuries that she's never seen before in life, and that was very surprising, and I guess this possibly could be moving closer to putting up some criminal charges against Trevor from what I'm seeing. Yeah. Marshawn, what are your thoughts about this situation and how crazy it is?
It's, first of all, it's scary because, you took advantage of, we all know, Trevor, you're a baseball player. He's about 6'3", 6'4". Mm-hmm. First of all, you took advantage of a woman. Granted, whatever happens in your personal time, hey. But in this situation, I can't really make no excuses for. I don't make excuses anyway, but I really can't even make anything for Trevor. It's a little bit sick, in my opinion. You raped a woman, essentially raped a woman, causing serious injuries to her genitals and buttocks area. Like it's pretty scary. I personally don't think. If he gets charged with anything, I personally think the Dodgers should void his contract and it should be over with for him. Because stuff like this is serious. For Trevor to say he's an advocate of this group and that group, but you out here sexually assaulting women. I just think serious stuff should happen to him. My thing is, I'm trying to figure out exactly, did it happen here or did it happen in Cincinnati?
I think it happened in Los Angeles.
Really?
I thought everything was taking place in Los Angeles.
It happened in Ohio.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, this happened here in Ohio.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I've been trying to do some research to figure out if it happened while he was with the Reds or did this happen while he was with us? Yeah. So if it happened here, you gotta hit him with the highest criminal charges you can. Just because he signed a $100 and something plus $1 million contract doesn't really stop him from facing criminal charges, especially when another guy, and Deshaun Watson, is pretty much under the same scrutiny and about to possibly face the same right that Trevor Bauer follow suit. The same thing happens to him because this is very, very, very sickening.
Okay, I think that this happened in LA because I'm looking at, they say the lady is from San Diego and this is taking place in the Los Angeles Superior Court. So, that's one of the things that hadn't really been talked about. So I'm glad you actually brought that up. But she said that she wants to seek a 5-year restraining order against Trevor Bauer. And supposedly they met on Instagram and he dropped in her DMs and they started talking and then, met up and, started kissing and it went from there. She said she woke up and he was sodomizing her. So one of the things that an article had mentioned, Deadspin had did an article about how he's like, kind of trolled women on, like social media and stuff like that and got into arguments with women. So that's something that's a little interesting that was brought to the plate to actually show, some hostility towards women and some anger issues towards women. And one of the things I talked about yesterday was how badly he was bullied. There's an excellent Sports Illustrated article that came out obviously before all this did about how Trevor Bauer came to be who he is. And, I said, I think he's highly not misunderstood, but he was bullied. I was bullied as well. So there's just something, when you're bullied so badly, it changes you and it shapes you for the better or shapes you for the worse. And I think honestly, it shaped Trevor Bauer for the worse. And you're watching, you're kind of watching some of those, negative attributes come out to play. And, they had this SART nurse, so sexual assault response team, say that, she's seen, these injuries that the girl had were frankly alarming. Also, it said that, her hair was pulled. He pulled her by her hair and things like that. So it looks like A second woman also came forward to say that she had obtained an order of protection against Bauer in June 2020 in Ohio.
That's what I was talking about.
So, okay, there's more than one. So, alleging that he punched and choked her during sex as well. So, they said that these allegations are very similar. So, what happens? Do you think Trevor Bauer ever plays Major League Baseball again?
Absolutely. If he gets charged, well, I can't. Weird stuff happens. In my opinion, should he play baseball again with all of this going on? No, but man, MLB have let some stuff go on. You figure they let Mickey's out here
doing the most.
Mickey was out here doing crazy stuff. He got 3 jobs after that. So I don't know. I actually don't know. I mean, based off their track record with domestic violence, I'm going to say yes, because I feel
that's what I said yesterday.
I feel like they'll probably suspend him maybe a season, maybe half a season or something like that. But again, based off how they treat domestic violence, I don't think that the MLB would suspend him. Suspend him more longer than a year. I don't think they'll give him like the death penalty for this. But in my opinion, if I was Rob, hey man, you got to sit down for a couple. You either gonna have to sit down for a couple seasons or sit down forever. Your choice.
Yeah, that's something that we had talked about yesterday. I had asked, Kate, I'd asked Willie, does Trevor Bauer play baseball ever again? And I said yes, simply because Major League Baseball does not have the domestic violence problem that football is known to have. So I think it's being treated a little differently, and he'll get a chance to play a game. A lot of people fail up, and they don't always look like us. Just look at Brad Stevens. He's absolutely done nothing. So instead of being rewarded, instead of being fired, he was rewarded with a management job. Some people will fail up, and I think Trevor Bauer will be able to fail up. This will blow over. People have short memories, but the fans won't. They will taunt him.
No matter where if he's staying, I don't think he'll stay in LA. I think.
Oh yeah, the Dodgers are gonna get rid of him.
No matter how good he is, I think the Dodgers. I think he'll end up somewhere probably East Coast just to get away from him.
And he's a very polarizing figure. He's a very polarizing figure in the locker room as well. Yeah. And you kind of see how he went out when he left the Cleveland Indians, and a lot of Indians were not sad about it. I'm not sure what the pulse is on Cincinnati when he left, but supposedly some reports are coming out that the Dodgers they like whatever.
It's funny because I didn't mind his antics while he was here, like throwing the ball over the field. I mean, whatever.
The last pitch he ever threw was for 460 yards.
The maddest I ever got at Trevor Bauer was when he cost us a World Series win because he thought that playing with the drone was better. So
0-2 in the World Series, by the way.
I already was kind of like at my wish with him, and I understand, that he's a special guy. So it's kind of like whatever when it comes to Trevor. But I never want to see any man prosecuted wrongfully. But in this situation, I think Trevor got to get the book handed to him, man. Because if you don't get me wrong, I'm not putting people's business out there, but there's some people out here that like to be roughed up. But when you choke a woman to the point she passes out and then sodomizes her, there's really nothing else that we need to talk about here, man. There's got to be some legal trouble that you got to face with this. It's a little wild, man. Trevor. I want to know if he was sober doing this. There's no way he was sober doing this. No,
could be.
Possibly, but
could be. It's like some 50 Shades of Grey, stuff like that. Watching too many of those movies or something like that. But it's just a really bad situation, and you really hope that he didn't do the things that he's accused of. And if he did, he has to face just punishment like everybody else. The same things apply, and hopefully the Dodgers can move on from him, and maybe he doesn't. Maybe he plays in the minors. Maybe no team will touch him or sign him.
It's crazy how he went against his lawyer's word, and most lawyers say, "Hey, like, don't speak out. So let me do all the talking for you." But just few days ago, he went against his lawyer's word and put a whole post out about. He put a whole notepad together, posted on Twitter, Instagram, going at the Washington Post because they was, killing his credibility, talking about women that he dated 10 years ago and stuff like that, getting interviews by him. So.
What?
Yeah.
What was he saying about women he dated 10 years ago?
He pretty much was saying like the Washington Post interviewed women that he no longer speaks to, that women that he dated 10 years ago to try to destroy his credibility in a sense. And pretty much that don't believe anything the Post is saying. And I know a few people that actually intern for the Post. I don't think they would lie. Even though the Post, they've put a few things out there that just wasn't true about my guy John Wall, but I don't think that they would lie. I don't think so.
So the restraining order against Ohio, and then the woman who was legally adult but not of legal age to drink was reportedly clad in only her underwear and a t-shirt when police arrived at Bauer's Cleveland area apartment in 2017. So that's per the Washington Post. And George says, and that's why Trevor Bauer in this city is always drone boy. He has not forgotten about him playing with that drone either. But so this lady also says that he punched and choked her during sex. And the police instead believe Bauer's story that the woman showed up at his apartment unannounced, unwanted, and arrested her for underage drinking. But as a women's attorney, Timothy Hess pointed out to the Post, Bauer's building had a lobby and she had been in his apartment for hours before the police arrived. So this happened in 2017, and it says it wasn't until 2020 that the woman saw the restraining order against Bauer, who allegedly sent her threatening text messages.
I believe it. Bauer's a public figure, so he's kind of like, hey, don't destroy my credibility. I believe that.
One says, I don't feel like spending time in jail for killing someone, and that would happen if I saw you again. Yeah, this is bad.
This is scary. Now it's to the point where it's scary now,
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen with Trevor Bauer. So, we're going to go ahead and take a break right quick. And when we come back, we're going to talk about what we could change about baseball. So we're going to be right back. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Food fanatics rejoice. WOVU 95.9 FM and the Greater Cleveland Delta Foundation are bringing you the Mobile Food Pantry Food Giveaway. Saturday, August 21st from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 11955 Shaker Boulevard in Cleveland. This is a free event to distribute food to the community, and everyone is welcome. All you have to do is drive up, pop your trunk, and drive away. Here to serve, rain or shine. Visit the Greater Cleveland Delta Foundation's Facebook page to learn more about this free mobile food pantry food giveaway. Saturday, August 21st from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 11955 Shaker Boulevard in Cleveland. Brought to you by the Cleveland Delta Foundation and WOVU 95.9 FM. Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Car community radio station.
I didn't want the spiders at all.
Life is getting back on track, and you can too. If you or your family have experienced financial hardship as a result of COVID-19, Tri-C can help with tuition assistance. Safely get the in-demand degree or training you need with online and on-campus classes. Go to tri-c.edu to check out our programs and resources. So, what are you waiting for? Register now for fall classes. Tri-C is where futures begin.
This message is brought to you by Tri-C and WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Car community radio station.
I'm the only female in the crew now.
Really?
Like Little Kim.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
So they down a person. All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle, WOVU and 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I am here with Mr. Marshawn Powers. And guess what? It's almost been an hour. It's been 45 minutes, actually 47 minutes. Can you believe that? So there was a story that came out that I thought was really interesting, and it happened to be about what would be changed about baseball. And I just had the article right here. I don't know where it went. I guess I was looking up stuff about Trevor Bauer. getting it back. So ESPN ran a story that said, what would Major League Baseball look like if they were designing it now? So some of the things of note. So I want to get your thoughts about this.
Okay.
Shortening the season. They say that they would shorten the Major League Baseball season by 1 month. What are your thoughts about shortening the Major League Baseball season?
Man, I'm with it. I always thought 162 games was way too much. I'm with it. You know, if you shorten the season, then you have to replace it with something. So if you shorten the season, then I feel like you should give more teams opportunities to get to the playoffs. You know, so instead of it just being a 1-win wild card, then the wild card should be extended to probably the best of 3, best of 5, something like that. You know, give the top 2 teams buys and then the next 2 teams playing. I feel like, you know, it should be something to kind of, you know, replace that. And then, man, I mean, well, I'm pretty sure you've been to baseball games in the cold. Man, I remember being at Game 7 at World Series in the cold. I just couldn't focus because it was too. You know how brutal it is here in Cleveland. It was just way too cold.
Which game?
Game 7 of the 2016 World Series.
No, it was not. It was nice that night. It wasn't that bad at all.
A little chilly.
Yeah, it was okay compared to what it usually is like in October. Because remember those first 2 games, how cold it was, and you had on your winter jackets. But then by game 3, it had worn. No, what is it? What is the World Series format? 2-2? Is it 2-2 or 2-3-2? I think it's 2-3-2. 2-3-2. But yeah, that Halloween it was warm. So you know, what is Halloween? October 31st. Mm-hmm. That game was warm because I almost remember like I was at a Halloween party when we won, and they inserted Cocoa Crisp in, and we won 1-0. So it wasn't as bad that day, you know. But yeah, the weather progressively got better for the series. But yeah, I agree with you. But I don't agree with shortening the season at all. I think you need to keep it just as it is. It's perfect. And let
me ask you this: you actually go to all 162 games?
No, but I pretty much watch them on TV if I'm not at them. Only do I miss games if I'm busy doing something or I'm watching the game.
Out of 162, I could probably say I watch 90.
Even when we're losing, I'm still watching usually.
Once we start getting blown out, I'm like, all right, man, let's see what's on these international. I'll tell you this: one idea that ESPN put out that was my favorite one was expanding and realigning.
Yeah, that was next.
Yeah,
I like that. I agree with that. Something regional, almost kind of like think about like the AFC North. All teams are kind of in the same place.
You figure in the Central because I still should be Central.
Yeah.
Detroit, us, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh.
Okay.
How many teams is it? It should be one more, right? And I would even
5 teams.
5 teams. So Cleveland, Cincinnati, Detroit, Pittsburgh. What would be that last team?
Dang, who close enough to us?
Chicago. I like the White Sox and all.
Okay, yeah.
Chicago.
So keep the White Sox.
Keep the White Sox.
And the Cubs. Maybe you can do 6 because if you expand it to 32, you can do the 6, and that's close enough. That's a 3-state thing. Yeah. It's like Big Ten country right there, baby.
Yeah, I love it.
Big Ten country.
I'm all for it.
Yeah. Okay. So I definitely sign up for that one. Pitch clock.
No.
Pitch clock.
No.
Now, the time between pitches is the biggest reason games are longer than ever. 23 minutes longer than 2005 for a 9-inning game, 34 minutes longer than 1984, and 35 minutes longer than 1962. So also they say that pitchers' velocity increases when pitchers take more time during pitches. So that's something to be looked at as well. Right. But, they do have pitch clocks, they said, in the minors.
I don't know about pitch clock.
I'd be okay with that.
You would?
Yeah, I'd be okay with that because that make the 162 games go faster.
Okay.
I'd be okay with a pitch clock, actually.
Okay.
Robo-umps.
No, absolutely.
You know what, though? And the reason I say this is because in the game against Minnesota the other day, I wasn't sure if Miles Straw was going to get ejected from the game. But there was a series of pitches in which there was a pitch that was out of the strike zone. At the bottom of the strike zone. I think it might have been a slider. It was at the bottom of the strike zone and it was called for a strike. And after, when you could see the pitch, thing, it was outside the strike zone. And then he gave it to him up top. So it was out the strike zone at the top and that was called another strike. So Miles struck out actually. And you could kind of hear him say to the ref, if you're going to give it to him, you can't give it to him up there too. You know what I'm saying? Because they were both outside the strike zone, but they was called for strikes. So I feel like instances like that, robo-umps are better. Because it's almost subject to personal whim.
You have to sell it. I would have to see it to be sold on it. I would have to see it to be sold on it.
I mean, you can say the same thing for basketball and football too. You know what I'm saying?
A robo-umpire for football?
Yeah. Yeah, he actually might know what a catch is. Because we still in 2021 arguing about what a catch is. So I don't mind robo-ump. So end streaming blackouts and loosen video rights restrictions.
Yes. You know how, man, so shout out to T-Mobile. So because I have T-Mobile and the MLB TV free, if I'm watching it on Wi-Fi, it won't let me watch the Indians play. I have to actually turn the Wi-Fi off, go on my regular data just to watch it. Can we end all these blackouts? Like, the MLB got so much money. Well, I just want to watch the Indians. If I can't watch it on Bally Sports, let me just watch it on MLB TV.
It's called get you a Fire Stick, man.
I got one of those, but it's packed away.
Well, how is it helping you if it's packed away? What? What does that mean?
I got Apple.
Did you just move?
Yeah, I just moved like a month ago.
Okay, I'll give you that excuse. But one of the first things you're supposed to do when you move is cut on the TV.
I got Apple TV. Apple TV is.
I'm about to cancel mine, man. Because half the stuff you got to pay for, I got on my iPhone. I guess I got on my other devices. Yeah. I'm admit this to everybody right now. I've never downloaded a song off the internet before. So I do not know how to stream and all that other stuff.
YouTube?
I don't really listen to music all like that. Pandora, Spotify.
Okay, all right.
But I don't know none of these little Daryl, little, big, I don't know none of these kid rappers now. Baby this, baby that. I don't know none of that.
Everybody want to be little, big, baby, killer.
Yeah.
Everybody want to be just be your own person.
Have a dog named Killer, Yeah. So, but I need you to unpack that Fire Stick because I got a program. It's $25 a month. And I'm like, is the government gonna come get me for saying this? It's $25 a month, but I got like 5,000 channels.
Really?
And I got all the football channels. So when all the football games are on, I can watch them. And then all the baseball and basketball games. I got to take the subscription off my phone, but I just paid for Sunday Ticket. I pay for it every year, but now I'm gonna have to. That stuff is like $100-something a year, like $179 a year. That costs too much.
So we're gonna have to. We're gonna talk off air about this $25 because I'm trying to watch that football team this year. I'm trying to watch the Browns when I ain't at home. So we're gonna have to figure this out.
Yeah, because you can't put it on your TV, your devices too. I've never done that, but
you can?
So yeah, you can. I don't know how to do that, but you can allow the trading of draft picks. I like that. Yeah,
I like that.
Pay minor leaguers a living wage. I think everybody agree with that too.
I actually know 2 guys in the minors right now. And,
oh, really?
Yeah, one of my buddies that plays for the University of Maryland, Maxwell Costas. Shout out Maxwell. His brother Marty Costas played for UMD. He just got called up to the AAA for the Astros.
Okay.
Sugarman something.
When they getting in the huddle?
Whenever.
Okay. All right. So also rethink the role of the commissioner. I think everybody will agree with this.
Manfred got way too much power.
They all got too much power.
Way too. Rob Manfred is supposed to be working for the owners, and he did not. When he did nothing about the Astros cheating, I knew, all right, you got way too much power.
Yeah, but also, having a commissioner that really believes in baseball outreach is something that's important to me in actually attracting different demographics to the sport. So we got some breaking news. What just happened?
We just talked about Trevor Bauer, and this man has invoked his right to plead the fifth.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's not going to testify against himself in the case of the woman seeking a restraining order. So I guess that's pretty much saying that, hey, I did it, but we ain't going to talk about it.
You just sounded like that lady in the O.J. Simpson verdict in the case of Orenthal and J. Simpson. You just sounded like I had to do jury duty and I was selected as a forewoman. Yeah. Don't ask how that happened. And I thought I was going, and we convicted the dude, but I thought I was going to have to read the verdict to him like OJ. And once they said that I was a foreperson, he started staring at me and stuff like that. So yeah, he's still in jail right now from what I heard. But yeah, he.
I've never done jury duty. Is it true that you're not allowed to know about the case if you do it now? I don't think so. They might ask you if you know the person. I can't remember because they ask you questions at the very beginning, and I think a lot of it depends on what your job is, because I have a job that's, based on science. And then I told them about the journalism thing. Yeah. And then when it came to electing a foreperson, they was like, you do it. I'm like, well, can we have some discussion about this? Because usually the foreperson is like a 50-year-old white man. Yeah, so yeah, I was not your typical foreperson, but I didn't want to do it. I was going to take a knee because I was trying to get out of it. But I didn't. I ended up doing it. And I'm glad I did it, because the thing is, it's very important as a registered voter, when you have these jury cases and stuff like that to try to fight the bias and things, give the defendants, everybody should be entitled to fair judicial system. And we all know that that is not the case. So, I think it's important for us to go ahead and exercise that right to vote and also be on jury duty because that's how you get selected for it. So I think that's important. But yeah, definitely rethinking the role of commissioner is important because Rob Manfred just isn't getting the job done. And I wonder, what the owners are thinking as well. But that's our time, man. This has been it. Hey, well. We'll be back at it again next week.
Same place. Yeah, that was quick. And you've been listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We are out of here and we'll see you next week. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
Ooh, ooh.
Flex. I'm blowing through the bands. She got me in the trance. She told me to subscribe.
Yeah, he